Dr. Newman, you're also an epidemiologist. I presume the prospect of a viral pandemic keeps you up at night as well.
No.
Opening with a reminder of how terrible the COVID pandemic was, just so we can all be properly terrified by the possibility of the even more dangerous fungal pandemic that's about to be introduced. As if I didn't have enough to be pessimistic about, I can now add fungus zombies to the list. Great. Also, that 1968 title card might be the most unnecessary title card to ever title card. I think the plethora of cigarettes and 29 different shades of beige gave us all the context clues we required. Also the third, discount John Hay. Holy, 4 weddings and a funeral!
Bacteria.
No.
You like saying no.
Would you prefer he said yes and lied? Is this show on Fox News?
Permanently fixed on one unifying goal: to spread the infection to every last human alive.
Slightly more angry Peter Capaldi here must be a fun guy at parties. I mean, he doesn't really leave much room for optimism, does he? If I was watching this live, I'd switch over to the nearest sports channel. Just because you're using fungi instead of blood and different music doesn't make this any less of a discount Game of Thrones intro. Having to be reminded that 2003 was 20 years ago. If you keep making me feel like an ancient one, this will be the last of me watching this series. And as if this title card wasn't enough, this shot alone is an absolute orgy of evidence that not only is this a young person's room, but also that this is a young person's room from the mid-aughts. Going straight from drinking orange juice to coffee. Despite all the warnings in Clerks 2, I'm pretty sure even 8 AM would be more appetizing.
You get your homework done?
Pedro Pascal is not my daddy in this scene.
Concrete guy's gonna be there?
Yeah, they said maybe.
Maybe.
I didn't expect the Venn diagram consisting of characters who have a passion for concrete and characters who are complicated father figures would ever overlap to include Gerard Butler, Tom Hardy, and Pedro Pascal, but here we are, sniff testing your leftovers. I mean, I know we all do it, but just like my grandpa used to say, it doesn't have to be whiffy to make your tummy squiffy. What kind of masochist in 2003 would use this classic phone case with the belt clip, which made you look super fucking cool, by the way, but still put the phone in their pocket?
Your t-shirt's inside out.
Oh man, that is so annoying. But at least his day can't get any worse. Going through your father's drawers. Trust me, that is asking for trouble, and she's very lucky that the show's commitment to portraying a wholesome relationship conflicted with her finding, well, just go through your parents' drawers and find out for yourself. TVSins does not actually recommend going through your parents' drawers and will not be held liable for any resulting injury, nightmares, or loss of respect for any family members involved.
Dad, you love biscuits.
I do. But I'm on Atkins.
I swear shows mentioning the Atkins diet is to the mid-aughts what Bayesian cigarettes are to the 60s. Expo Bumpersitional stickers. In case you confused it with Austin, Minnesota, and literally any other time in 2003, why the f does it matter that it's September and why are you telling me this now? Macbeth. No, I don't hate Shakespeare. I just wish we'd teach kids about the fun ones, like Hamlet.
Homework is due! End of class tomorrow!
Well, if the homework's due at the end of class, then that's classwork. There is nothing in that description that would encourage me to spend any time with that assignment at home.
You should go home.
Panicking in front of a child and telling them they should go home, but not actually telling them why they need to go home. What the f***, random lady?
People out there need to get right with Jesus. 3 nails plus 1 cross equals 4 given.
Yep, that's the way to get the kids into Jesus. Math.
I was thinking we'd make some cookies.
Chocolate chip?
Raisin.
Yeah, math and raisin cookies. I feel the Lord. Also, I always find it odd when people spin this kind of religious rhetoric in the face of violence and death because the Bible might be the most violent book that has ever existed. All the effort that went into making me believe it's 2003 just to blow it all by including 2005's Murder Ball. This is some amazing background suspense that reminds me of the library scene in It Chapter 1. Regardless of whether you've played the game or know where this is going or have no knowledge whatsoever, these few seconds set up the horror of what's to come perfectly. Dog knows that shit's about to go down before any of the humans do and is briefly acknowledged but ultimately ignored. Cliché. Also, sure, the dog's acting weird and whatnot, but what we really should be focused on is how horribly organized this bookcase is. It's fucking chaos.
A comment today from the Austin Police Department regarding a rash of violent incidents across the city.
The only thing worse than using random news position to explain what's going on is having one of our characters not paying attention to the random news position.
Where's the cake?
Forgetting cake? What makes forgetting the cake even worse, though, is that you're going to be stuck eating raisin cookies, Joel. Also shows that pile on the undomesticated dad who's useless at looking after himself and relies on the little kid good at life routine this heavily are screaming from the rooftops that something is going to happen to said kid. And yes, maybe there were only 4 people watching this who didn't know it was coming, but they deserve to be surprise traumatized too.
Mrs. Adler?
Because the TV, the dog, and the clearly freaked out shopkeeper that have all told me to stay home. Instead, I'm going to wander into my neighbor's house that has nope written in blood all over because I'm only smart when my dad needs to look dumb. Look, Nananoki could be a fungi-infected zombie, but there's also a strong possibility she's just getting Mrs. Adler back for choosing to make raisin cookies instead of chocolate chip. I mean, who the chooses to make raisin cookies? Grandma Sophia Portobello is nice enough to stop chasing Sarah just long enough for Joel to show up, park, get out of the truck, grab Sarah, and get ready to attack.
Get the truck! Right now!
Also, Convenient Joel conveniently has a weapon in his hand when he exits the truck despite having no way of knowing Sarah was in trouble. The fungicidal nanomaniac hadn't even left the house yet.
You take 71.
No one will be seated as Joel and Tommy decide aloud which interstates and highways they will be taking to get out of town.
How do you know we're not sick?
They're saying it's mostly people in the city.
Mostly.
It's Jimmy's place.
That might carry more weight if I had the first clue who Jimmy was. You couldn't have given us a scene with Jimmy instead of confirming that kids get bored at school.
Everybody had the same f***ing idea.
To take a major roadway out of the city? Yeah, that's so weird. Tommy. You might think it's the subtle nods like this backseat POV scene that have inspired people to call this the best video game adaptation of all time, but I would like instead to refer you to the person whose POV we are seeing this from. Nico Parker, along with Pascal and basically every damn person in the pilot, gives such sincere and engaging performances that this jumps from being a great pilot based on a video game to simply a great pilot that just happens to be based on a video game.
Head of the river, I'll find a way.
A way that wasn't climbing over the car, but instead had to result in the being separated. All so that he can Tommy Ex Machina them a few scenes from now. Well, one of them at least. I realize these aren't technically zombies, but there are still moments like this that feel right out of a Walking Dead episode. Maybe it's impossible to escape that comparison, but I'm me, so you're still getting us in.
Yes, sir.
Military sent to protect the people from viral outbreak actually ends up mostly being there to kill people whether they've contracted the virus or not. Cliché.
Come on, baby girl, I gotta get you up.
Okay. 3 sin removals might seem excessive for one video, but this is likely the only opportunity I'm going to get to remove a sin for one of the best video game prologues ever committed to disc. And either way, Pedro nails this scene. Oh, so now you don't give us a specific year. Likely because the show doesn't want to date itself when we get to season 4 and wonder why it's still 2023. But in that case, don't fucking date the earlier scenes. We know how time works. Also, damn these sudden time jumps and their ability to strip all the momentum out of a story. Yeah, their hands were tied by the video game, but guess what? They're not. Do what you want. Wouldn't it have been interesting to see how Joel deals with the loss of his daughter in the opening months and years of the apocalypse? All you've done now is left the door open for a disappointing spinoff called, oh, I don't know, let's say Fear the Last of Us. No one wants 8 seasons of that. This is clearly trying to tease us into thinking that we're seeing a fully infected individual stumbling along, but we know that the fully infected move quickly, so why give us a slow zombie stumble tease? Unless, of course, you want us to keep thinking we're watching The Walking Dead, and we really don't want to be watching The Walking Dead. Schindler's Red Petticoat. Oh, so now you're giving us the year? Then what was the point of the whole where they did the thing and the why is this even this is dumb. I don't even what time it is, what year it is, who cares? This is the vaguest list of symptoms I've ever seen. These could be a sign of anything from slight intoxication to having a nap at a weird point of the day that now means you're too awake to go back to bed at a sensible time, so you stay up until 5 a.m. playing video games and just resign yourself to being a nocturnal beast. It's me. I'm the nocturnal beast. Rawr. Also, this is great information for the audience, and I'm sure it won't backfire when a snarky YouTube channel takes a screenshot to make sure it's totally obeyed by the show in the future.
How did you get this?
And now we have another scene of a child dying to demonstrate how bleak the situation is. And call me a wimp, but I think 2 child deaths in less than 3 minutes may be pushing me to my HBO Max.
Tomorrow we got street sweeping or sewer maintenance.
Which pays more?
Maybe the one with the
This is Boston, where Yankees fans have always told me that there is in the streets, so that didn't answer the question he asked. Gore Lieberman shirts in 2023. And yes, I understand the world has been out of the shirt making business for 20 years, but I'm not buying anyone was wearing those shirts in 2003 either. I don't have a hard time believing that an overzealous military state could bring back the death penalty. I can also buy that they do it publicly to inspire fear and obedience from those pesky masses. But people still have a choice not to turn up, right? It just seems so strange to me that an entire crowd would turn up for this shit, not just the occasional sociopath. Looking for the light in the darkness is great for the Green Lantern Corps, but in this world, I imagine it's pretty terrible advice. I bet more times than not, that light will be attached to a speeding car, a freight train, or an assault rifle. Tess survives this.
I'm not a firefly!
I just realized in this universe, the fungi infection spreading was probably why Firefly was canceled and not because of the terrible Fox executives. So the sin, as always, is network television.
7, 8, you.
Kids.
Hey, there's a line.
This is the sole objection we hear to the man skipping a very long line of people all wishing to send messages to their loved ones.
73K Orlando out.
Florida.
Show me where the tower is.
You can't be serious. Joel, it's in Wyoming.
Wyoming. Joel managed to find his stash in a matter of seconds instead of having to inspect every item in the room, jump into some walls, pick up some random cup, retrace his steps, drop some random cup, restart the day, and then finally resort to checking Google. It's just not realistic. Reading physical maps. I mean, the fungi couldn't wait till after the iPhone was invented in 2007. What a fungal ass. Pushing your partner over to get in bed instead of just getting into the bed on the other side.
It's a miracle you're alive.
It's a miracle any of us are alive.
Tess would be excellent on the fringe of TVSins. I mean, she would be a regular mind hunter. Oh, come on. You want me to go back to the mushroom puns? Also, Anna Torv rocks in Isn't It Enough Things. That may be the biggest sin in television. Well, except for that 90s show. I mean, why the f*** does that exist?
Joel, listen. Robert is terrified of you. So you march out of here, all Clint Eastwood is going to get wind of it and skip.
How does she even know Robert is still alive? Remember that this f***ing happened.
You fight for 20 years and you get nowhere, you're not a rebellion. Just spray paint.
Because having people talk about the rebellion actiony stuff is so much better than actually showing the rebellion actiony stuff. Did 47 years of Walking Dead on a farm not teach show writers anything?
Is this real? I believe it is.
That is not an answer. At least not an answer that would result in me agreeing to abandon what little semblance of home I have at the risk of being hanged.
Whatever you need, whatever it takes, we'll get her where she needs to go.
Scenes like this drive me mad. Kim's immediate and unquestioning commitment here just shows that we could have saved all of the time if Marlene had just opened with whatever is on this slip of paper instead of burying the lead and expositing us to death.
I won't tell anyone about any of this. I swear.
Where are you gonna go?
This is a valid question. Where does Ellie think she could go? We're gonna find out she's carrying the infection but not showing any of the symptoms, but anywhere she goes, once they check her with the scanny doodad, they'll shoot her on sight and not ask any questions. Ellie should know this. So seriously, where is she trying to go?
Tess.
Episode promised a showdown between Joel and Robert, but chooses to kill off Robert before it could happen.
No fair.
That was a lot of gunfire. Fedor's gonna be on the way.
A lot of gunfire that neither Joel nor Tess heard while they were crawling through the walls, so I think you're okay.
I can do it. Kim, you don't have a f***ing ear on your f***ing head, could you please? You get her there safely, and they'll give you what you need. Fueled up truck, guns, supplies, all of it.
I know Marlene is low on options, but isn't promising Joel a truck and a load of weapons and supplies giving away exactly how valuable Ellie is to someone who isn't exactly part of the cause? She just said,
And I know what you're both capable of. For better or worse.
So wouldn't it be better to trust one-ear Kim to get the job done rather than Joel, who might be motivated to hold her for an even higher ransom? Also, despite that, it sure is lucky that Marlene is spontaneously gifted with Joel, a man who just happens to have a lost daughter the same age as Ellie, and will use that trauma to protect her with an instinctual fury.
You are all that matters. My team will not jeopardize that.
Well, that suggests that her team knows exactly why Ellie is so important. So how many f***ing people know about this super secret? Ellie's importance is becoming less of a secret and more of a this is definitely going to end up getting Ellie kidnapped and Marlene will wonder where it all went wrong situation. Also, if Marlene was taking Ellie herself, why would she even need to risk telling the team why she's so important? Shouldn't they just follow her orders?
Don't f*** this up.
Says the person that just f***ed this up.
So what's the deal with you anyway? You some kind of bigwig's daughter or something?
Something like that.
Okay, I know I sinned Marlene for letting on how special Ellie is, but at the same time, now that she's trusted her with Joel and Tess, why didn't she just tell them exactly why she's so special? Like, what if they spot her bite and have a huge freak out and decide to kill her?
I kept saying like wake me up before you go. Gotcha.
Using Wham as your choice of an 80s reference.
80s means trouble. Code broken.
Listen.
No, Joel, you listen. If you didn't want your code broken, maybe don't leave 2/3 of the cipher inside the damn cipher book.
Holy I'm actually outside.
Neither Joel nor Tess thought it would be smart to prompt the child who's never been outside to not do like this once outside. For the record, we don't ever need to see someone urinating. Like ever.
Really, man?
Yep.
We're doing this by the book.
And here's a great example of when it would be extremely beneficial for Joel and Tess to have some knowledge of Ellie's condition. F***ing Marlene and Ellie. Pilot does not contain nearly enough rearranging of pallets.
Do you have any hobbies?
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
Stop all the clocks, cut off the telephone, prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone.
Concrete guy's gonna be there?
Yeah, they said maybe.
You do it for the air that will be displaced, and most of all, you do it for the f***ing concrete, because it is delicate as blood.
You really have gone mad.
The voicemail box of
Sterling Archer
is full. Goodbye.
Idiot.
God damn it.
Are you aiming for these people?
No. Maybe that mine.
No. Okay. You're okay.
You're gonna be okay!
You have been found guilty by the elders of the town of uttering the name of our Lord, and so as a blasphemer, you are to be stoned to death.
I want you to forget this ever happened.
Okay, lines up straight like that, right? To the right of it and to the left of it are pockets, right? In those pockets are money. Look in either one of them, pay the bill.
I'm not supposed to be here!
Not even supposed to be here today.
On a daily basis, I consume enough drugs to sedate Manhattan, Long Island, and Queens for a month.
So let's go hunt that motherfucker down and get our battery and our truck, and then we'll go find Tommy. All right?
This is the way. Brightest day, blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight.
Tell me to look for the light and I'll break your jaw.
I won't tell anyone about any of this. I swear.
Where are you gonna go?
Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide?